Here we go. Welcome back to, well, I've heard of this show as the only anime, which kind of it is. Tougen Anki. Anime review, episode number 2. We're here discussing episodes 2 through 4 of the series. Basically, these episodes finish up the intro arc, plus go the entirety of the tag arc, but these episodes themselves do skip some pages per se, but they have a lot of material here, so basically, we're introduced to all of our characters. He meets all of them. He does talk to the masked man. Now, since I introduced in the last episode, let's basically talk about who's the voice of these people. Starting with, well, not that one. Jen Kaguski, who is basically the masked man, who's basically got focus here. He's voiced by Koei Dao. You probably all thinking, who the heck is this guy? Well, apparently he's a Vietnamese actor who was in Testament Sister New Devil Burst as Luca, as Ginten from My Hero Academia. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah, he was also Regulus. Yes, he actually replaced the original English dub actor for some reason per se. Yes, Regulus. I'm trying to think. Regulus Cornelius. I'm trying to remember. It's not Roswell. I think this might be the Archers of Greed. I think it was, yes. Yeah, for some reason he replaced him. Don't know the reason for it, but yep, it's the Archers of Greed. Yeah, for some weird reason, do not know why, they replaced his dub actor. I'm still questioning why the heck did that for, but they did. There's also Jin Karospi, who's basically four-eyed. He doesn't do anything in these few episodes. He is voiced by Edward Mediza. He does nothing here. There is Ikari Yaroshi, who is voiced by Alejandro Saab. Yes, Alejandro Saab. Which, yeah, that was interesting choice. I'm going to hopefully get a chance to meet him soon. Probably next month. I'll go to Comic-Con. Let's see. He's not on this one. There he is. This actually is the 22nd series I've heard of it now. Yeah, 22. Not bad. There's also Himori Bagaria. She is voiced by Erica Mendez. Yes. If I remember correctly, I believe, yeah, this is the woman who voices Megumin from Konosuba. Yep. Great to see her. Our resident waifu of the series, Kauna, is voiced by Rebecca Wong, who also voices the young version of the lead character series. She also voices like one other character in the series. Yeah, Rebecca Wong basically pulls like triple duty this series. Not really sure why, but that's basically how it is. She apparently made her debut in the series Solo Leveling. Yes, that apparently was the first one. As well, I think it looks like to be. I think it might be the lead character. I think it was his mom. I think it was. She also voiced Rutias from Death to Curse Slime. Latia's mom from ReZero. And that's it. No, seriously. That's it. Oh, she does voice a character in the most recent Demon Slayer movie, Infant Castle, as Kyoki. Oh yeah, this was I believe this one was in a really good flashback in the movie. She did a great job voicing her. She's a really good voice actress, and I call her the Kuna is the resident waifu. There's a reason for that. It's because I'm not the one who designated that. Other people have designated this woman. And there's also Ricaro, who basically wears a scarf and very nervous. He's voiced by a guy who I can't get away from him, but he's happy, but he's so awesome. Rico Fajaro. Because, oh my gosh, it seems like almost a lot of the anime I want to see, he's in. At least there's been a bit since that last saw one. Last one was She Professed Herself as a Puzzle of the Wise Man. This is also the 43rd series I have seen him in now. 43! I've never met Rico, but it seems like I can't come across a lot of his anime just by sheer coincidence. Yes, just by sheer coincidence. He's an amazing voice actor. Still not met the guy, but so, and of course, basically that, where like, oh, so next down, of course, like, instead of doing a lesson, training exercise. So basically, if you kill the teacher, you get to go where you want to. So then to play tag, Shiki and Jin chase after him. Himori is not far behind until she is wounded. Yes, until she is wounded. Thanks to, and of course Shiki tries his best to summon his blood, but it's not working. They do actually reveal that the whole thing with the blood is, how should I put this? Well, the whole thing with the blood is that it basically is based on people's preferences. In the case of Himori, it becomes basically a blood titan, which represents her late sister. In the case of Jin, it basically forms, believe it or not, a chainsaw and a regular handsaw. Yeah, the chainsaw thing, I wonder if basically the creator himself is a big fan of Chainsaw Man. Yeah, and just by sheer coincidence, come the same part of the arms. And in the case of Shiki, his whole thing was guns because he loves guns. So, after the conflict, then of course he summons the gun and he fires it, taking down the Blood Titan. Of course, Himura basically is declared to be retired because she basically passed out due to massive blood loss. In the case of Jin, he is restrained, and in the case of Shiki, he is standing. And also they have basically take a ball, which of course they has him drop, and then the teacher drops it, picked up by Jin, runs, but remember, oh crap, basically you gotta get both released at the same time because otherwise they'll be expelled for some reason. And the guy comes back because he still wants to become teacher, and then this little thing pops up, this little, like, but it pops up in episode 4, mind you, it's episode 4. Where we debut this particular thing here. Oh, we mentioned the whole thing here with Jin's father, where he basically, in a flashback, gets revealed that he murdered his mother and his sister for reasons. Oh, by the way, also the debut of Miku. This adorable little thing here. It's just, who's here? He doesn't have a good voice. We also get a debut of Takayari Mariya. We don't hear him speak in the episode, but don't worry, we will. Basically, the reason why that Miku's there because they've been called away. They go to Kyoto to deal with more Momotaros, and of course Shiki does ask, "What do they like?" By the way, Jin basically still wants to go with his father, and of course, Naga's like, he's not there. And what do they like? The ones there. The Momotaros and Kaito are insane. And we see one where it looks like he's killed like 20 Onis. I'm like, interesting. Very interesting indeed. Also, Himori is not here. She's probably still in the hospital. I'm guessing at that per se, because I think she was absent in... Yeah, but Also, the fact Shiki develops a crush on her. So, how much of the manga does this anime cover in just 3 episodes? Well, for chapter 2, it covers chapters 2 to 35 in the manga. It depths pretty much almost the whole chapter except for the only page. Depths the entirety of chapter 3. Chapter 4, this is quite interesting. 4 is like 20 pages. It adapts, actually skips pages this one. It adapts first 3 pages and 10 to 19. It doesn't adapt the last page, or even pages 4 through 7. For 5, it was pages 1 and 4 through 12, which is kind of interesting. It seems like, oh, we got half the chapter here. And don't worry, the very next episode does cover a lot of the rest. Well, 5 is covered here. 5, they cover us to 5. 6 is 3 to 20. 7 is 2 to 20. 8 is 2 to 19. 9 is they cover pages 115 and 17 20. Skip on page 16. Chapter 10, just the first 11 pages. And the 4th episode, pretty much the rest of that chapter, pages 221 of chapter 11, the entirety of 12, 13, and pages 1, 4 through 10 of chapter 14. I don't think the cuts are too bad here, per se. I mean, they were skipping like a few pages. I would say the most cut here is probably from chapter 4, where out of 20 pages of this whole chapter, they cut like 7 pages. Not sure why, but in case you're curious, though, do they go back to cover it again? No, not really. But 4 does wrap this arc, and of course, on the way to Kaito, thanks to a boat. Yes, on the way there in a boat. Also, they ditched the outfits that... If anybody's ever seen what the outfits the main characters wear in the series, yeah, the outfits they wear, which are kind of their school uniforms, they ditched them here to wear civilian clothes. Kuna basically is dressed white shirt and skirt, and also things feature as the hots for her. This book, he really doesn't at all. The subject is very attractive. Himura, of course, not here, Christian Hospital. And, of course, everybody has, and of course, Shiki is the last one to hide his horns. Yeah, but otherwise, though, really good 3 episodes. I enjoy these ones. I was one of these episodes of work, I remember, oh yeah, this series has lots of blood. So I should probably not watch this while I'm eating. Because I don't mind blood per se, but I prefer not to watch anime people dropping blood. It's not something that you should watch. If in fact, if something has blood, if something is very violent, don't eat something while watching it. A good example of this is Attack on Titan. A lot of the series is very bloody. I would recommend if you watch that series, do not eat anything. Because if you do, you might lose your lunch. And it was also kind of the same thing with Yu Hakusho, where at one point I had to stop eating because when they had that dark episode of the videotape. But that's what I recommend. If you encounter a violent series, now you're thinking, what about Solo Leveling? You can eat with that no problem because the series is really good. But a lot of the other shows, like if it's a gory show, don't eat anything. That's what I recommend. You can still drink stuff, no problem. You can have a drink of a tea or soda or whatever you normally drink, but don't eat anything because if you do, you might feel a little sick. And that's what I recommend basically because gore. If I see gore, I don't have a problem with gore per se. It's just that I prefer not to make myself sick watching it. Now, of course, yes, the blood basically is it's dark red, which that's the normal color blood is when it's moving the body. I've seen what dark blood looks like. I've seen what my own blood looks like thanks to basically not blood transfusion I got. It was more like they took one time I visited a doctor. They took samples of my blood. By the way, it's not comfortable having blood drop from your body. It is not comfortable at all. No. So good points for the anime basically for getting the color of blood right. No blood, yeah, it's red, but people think, oh, is it light red? No, it's dark red. And when it's your body, it's blue. Yes, that's the thing. if in fact the blood inside your body, if the color is blue, that's what I read in health class, the health book I read. But outside the body, it's red because of the exposure to oxygen. That's primarily the reason why. Now, if it becomes light red, it probably is not much oxygen there. But if there's lots of oxygen, then it will turn dark red. That's how that works. Okay, so that's pretty much the particular video. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, to notifications. I'm gonna do a stream soon with a friend of mine. We're going to discuss comic plays. Okay, so to the next video. Bye.